So I'm having a chat with Joe of Sigma. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Good, yeah, not too bad. Thanks very much. So you've been releasing some new music recently with a new record that came out last week. We've been playing a track off that very record called Give It To Me. What can you tell us about the track?
So the track came about in a hot summer a few years back in my house that I just bought, which is nice, but it was because we had a conservatory, it was absolutely boiling. And I wrote it with a girl called Anwin, who's from Sweden, and a songwriter called Max Wolfgang, who is a bit of a legend. Yeah, it's been through about 3 or 4 different versions, and the version we finally came to is the one that you're playing. And a lesser-known fact, there was a version that we did with KSI at one point.
Ah. Is that one you think you might release as kind of as a remix?
Definitely not.
Did it not work then? Is that one of those that just didn't work?
I think there was a difference of opinions on it, and neither side wanted to budge, so that's kind of where we got to. But he's a lovely guy.
Well, there you go. That's some good, something good to come out of it anyway with this version. And obviously, you've now released your second record in Hope. So for those who haven't listened to it yet, how does this record sound in comparison to your debut?
I mean, it's for me, it's a similar montage of feeling and emotion in terms of like sound. Sonically, it's very, very, very similar kind of ballpark, I'd say. I mean, I feel like there's probably more of a variation in tempo, but yeah, man, on the whole, it's kind of got that Sigma thing stamped all over it, which I'm very happy with, I have to say.
Good, that's great to hear. And obviously, you work with a lot of artists, and you get a lot of artists onto your tracks. And just to name a few, you've got John Newman on this record, and Lowe's. You've had the likes of Birdie and Take That, Ella Henderson, Labyrinth, Paloma Faith. So tell us, how do you go about working with these artists, getting them on board and getting them onto your tracks?
It's usually quite a rigorous process, and something that probably takes much longer than you might expect, because essentially it starts off with the bare bones of a song, and then it kind of has to be produced in a fashion that we're happy with, and then obviously we have to be able to get our diaries so they align with the feature artist, which is probably one of the most difficult parts. And then secondly, we have to make sure that our team, i.e. our management, and their team and their management and their record label and our record label are all happy with it. And then eventually we can kind of push the button. So there's lots of moving parts that 9 times out of 10 don't all fall into the same place, which is when you end up with scenarios like I was talking about just previously.
Yeah, for sure. And is that one of the reasons why it's taken 7 years between records?
Well, what I think the one thing that I've kind of looked at over the journey of creating this record is that, like, this is basically just a culmination of the singles that we've done over the years. And for us, the strategy of releasing the music is not down to us to kind of decide that. Like, we essentially just like create the music and kind of put it into a place where it's a product, and then the label decide how they want to release it, and that's been kind of their choice to kind of do it that way.
Good. And people will want to see you on the road and doing these things live. So what's the plan at the moment? Where are you going to be playing over the course of the next few months and up until the end of the year?
You would be best off going to look at either our website, which is sigmahq.com, or our Instagram, which is just Sigma. But a few highlights that I can maybe mention off the top of my head, because I'm obviously not going to be able to remember everything. We're doing Silverstone, the Formula One next.
Yeah.
I think it's next week, and I think
next week
we're doing some festivals. Which festivals are we doing? We're doing Reading and Leeds, which I know is going to be amazing. That's always a great one. And some other stuff. My mind always goes blank when people ask me these questions. I'm like, just go and look at the Instagram or the website. You'll find it.
Yeah. Good. And one of the festivals that's happening this weekend is Glastonbury, and you've played Glastonbury. So tell us a little bit about what it was like playing a festival of that stature.
Glastonbury it's a very prestigious event. So a lot of the people who play there obviously play there because they just really want to play there, which is, and obviously it's an amazing experience, hands down. Like, we've had such a great time there. We went on the main stage for a bit. We headlined the dance tent. We've done tons of bits there, which has always been fun. The one thing that I always find with Glastonbury is that you always come away and you've lost money because they see it as that you should be almost be happy to be playing there. So that's the unfortunate nature of some of these events. So for us, as much as obviously we enjoy it, we don't like to go and play at things if we're going to be out of pocket. So that's kind of our attitude towards Glastonbury these days.
Yeah, that's good to know. Well, Joe, it's been a pleasure having a chat with you.
Fantastic, bro.